Okay, just before, or just to clarify what transmission I have in this, I have a 2010 Ford Fusion Sport 3.5 liter engine. And the transmission is a AISIN, AISIN. The actual transaxle is referred to as the TF60-SN 09M 65, or excuse me, 6F21WA, and it takes a specific transmission fluid. I'm putting in the mobile 3909, I believe it is, 3309 ATF. There's others. Off the top of my head, I don't know. There's a spec you have to follow, and it's in your manual. So go by your manual, what's on the dipstick, and also your VIN number can help you determine what transmission you have. All right, Joe Finley, enjoy the video. Getting ready to drain my transmission fluid. Finally got the right size wrench. Here it is. And getting ready to take it out. Here we go. And look at there. So now it's draining much more than I expected. Uh-oh, slowing down. Okay. Scared me there for a moment, because all I have is this, and it's 14 cups, or 16, I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put whatever's left, or whatever comes out of this, I'm going to put back in, because there's no exact science to know what's left in your transmission after you drain it. So first off, I'm up in the air, so it's at an angle, so all the fluid that can come out won't come out because of the angle. So I'm going to pull out or lower the jack after it stops flowing, and I'll continue back there. One thing I wanted to comment on is there's a lot of stuff going around the web, and I couldn't get any information on what size Allen head it was. As you can see, that's a 10, and that is a perfect fit for this particular drain plug. I have a 2010 Fusion Sport 3.5 liter front wheel drive, and I believe the transmission is a F21 AISIN, or however you enunciate that. After painfully looking for information on that, I found out I'm going to put in the mobile, I think it's 3390, which conforms to the spec in the book. Again, that's a 10. Now, a T55 will work. It's slightly smaller, so, you know, I guess if your drain plug is extremely rusted or something, you might not be able to get that 10 millimeter hex in there. But mine is pristine. Obviously, I've had a guard on there, lived in Houston most of my life, but now I'm in Morgantown, West Virginia, and I cut half of my guard off, okay, so that I could do my transmission maintenance without having to take that whole beauty shield off, or rock shield, I should say. It's not for beauty. But I can put it back on. I'm going to drill another hole in my cross member to up here to secure the, because it was combined with the oil guard right there. So I'll put another hole in there to hold it up right there, and then all the other screws are still in place. So I'll come back to you when I have other things to add. I'm going to lower my car down so that it can continue filling, and I will be back. I'm actually going to change that out, but to a different container, because I don't want to take a chance. I don't think there's that much more in there, but I don't want to take a chance on it overflowing. So, all right. I've let it down, and when I first put it down, it was streaming halfway decent, just, a small stream, but it was streaming. Now it's just dropping, and it's only been down for a minute and a half, so there wasn't much left. But, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out, actually I'm going to put a mark on my container exactly where it ended up, which I might not really need one because it's right there at that lip. And then I'm going to fill that back up with the transmission fluid and put it back in. But obviously I'm going to put that plug back in first. What I'm going to do is, you're supposed to theoretically change this fluid every 30,000 miles because there's no filter, transmission filter in there. Well, we'll just say it's inside and it's hard to get to, if there is one. It's been kicked back and forth whether or not there actually is one. So I'll just go with, if there is one, you can't get to it very easily without maybe dropping the transmission. So they advise you to change it every 30,000 miles. I'm going to change it. Right now I'm about 75,000 first change. So I'm quite a bit down from when I should have done it. But I'm going to do it again right at probably spring when it gets warm enough, which should not be 30,000, maybe 15, because I haven't done it. It's just to, it doesn't drain out of the torque converter, so you don't get a total drain. So I'm going to do it again. Now, my fluid is right here. As you can see, it looks pretty dark right there. But on my fingers, maybe not. Oh, it's pretty dark, but it doesn't really smell burnt. But it's dark. It's dark. But for 75,000, that ain't too bad probably. This fluid that I'm going to put in there is supposed to be better than what I've got. All right, I'll be back. One thing to note is that the plug is supposed to have a magnet, a nice size one, and it doesn't hardly appear to have one. And if that is a magnet, there's not much residue. I did wipe the plug and didn't pay attention, but it's just kind of surprising. All right, bye. Okay, I'm getting ready to put the plug back in and the rock guard there. I'm going to clean that back off, and hopefully I got enough room in here to put this guard back on without a lot of inconvenience. This little peg here goes back underneath that little clamp back there. You see it? Well, the overhang, downhang slides under there, and then there's a screw hole, and then there's another one, I believe, right there, and another one right there. Then I'm going to put one right there. All right, I'll get back to you. So when you tighten these, you're supposed to torque them. I got a torque wrench, but I'm just going to get it snug, and then maybe about 1/8 of a turn. That's good right there. All right, so now I'm going to put my beauty guard back on. When I lowered it down to place my jacks, a little more came out, but I'll just refill that to the point. I'll still only put what I got out of these in and then adjust accordingly. Now I'm going to secure my rock guard with that last bolt that I need to hold it from flapping around. I'm going to drill a hole, and then this is a self-tapping metal screw, and hopefully it'll go great. All right, it's done, and that cross member is hard and steel, and it took a while to get through there. The first size I used was too small. I tried to use, drill in there, and it was like, I don't want to go. But then I went to the next size, and it went in there. So now the rock shield is totally independent. I cut it loose right there, and I will secure this so it doesn't flap around. I'm using cable ties. It came loose and broke from these screws and stuff, so I just cable tie it up and it works. All right, signing off. We'll get back to you. There's the cable tie. That'll keep it from flopping around. I got another one over there, as you can see. So we'll get me a wire cutter and cut that sucker loose and drop her down, and I'm done for the under the car stuff for today. I still got to put in a, oh actually, you know what, I loosened that up. It didn't tighten it, so I need to tighten that, but I got to put a car stereo in today too. All right, sign off. Here's the tools used for the job. 4-ton floor jack. Obviously you don't need that big, but I got a good deal, so I bought it. 2 4-ton jack stands. My ATF 3309 mobile ATF. 3/8 drive ratchet with extension. Those tools are optional. So is this one. Those tools were used to put that other screw in to hold the rock guard. Those tools there, they're not needed. I have a 10mm hex drive, a 10mm drive for the rock guard extension. I use this to put the stuff back on, but I use the ratchet to take it off. I'm going to need this funnel for filling. As you can see, the residual transmission fluid that flowed down after I lowered the car is very, very minimal. I would say, maybe a 1/16 of a quart. Not even that, probably. I don't think you necessarily have to lower it. Now, right there, that bucket, I measured it before I filled it up. It holds approximately 14 cups. Or 16, I'm sorry. Which is 4 quarts. So I'm going to put 3.5 in. And then go through the motions, and you put it in your transmission dipstick location, which is right there. My dipstick's out of there, but that's where I'm going to put it in. Using this funnel, you stick it in right there. The transmission fluid or quart sets in here, and there you go. All right, so there's my transmission fluid. I got 12 quarts for $62 before shipping altogether. After shipping, I believe it was like $68. You can't find it locally at any of the stores, so you have to buy it online. Okay. Here we go with the first one. This funnel ain't that big, so don't try to overdo it. You're not going to be able to put it into the thing to let it drain until after you've... Wow. Wow. That's weird. So I guess I was going too fast, and probably some of it came out, maybe. I can't tell. But there you go. Word of caution. Don't go too fast. Otherwise, what you just seen happens. So let me see. Yeah, a little bit, not much. Yeah, just a little bit spilled, not much. So, okay, so there you go. Take your time. Don't get in a hurry. I think that's because I got it in that hole so much there ain't no air to release, and it had to burp. Okay, so that's what you do when you get to the bottom. All right, well, I'm gonna put another 3.5 in there, and then start the car and cycle it through the gears and let it run for at least 5 minutes. Cycle through the gears again, then check my fluid and see where we're at. Yeah, some of it spilled over there, popped out, so I'm gonna have to get my brake cleaner out and clean her up. All right, signing off. So I've put 3 quarts in so far. What I think I'm gonna do is go ahead and get in there, start it up and shift it through the gears, and then put the other half quart in. So that make sure it doesn't overflow when I try to put the other half quart, because it hasn't circulated. So here we go. So I'm now in my vehicle. I'm going to let off the parking brake, which you should always have on whenever you jack up a car. And I'm going to start it. Okay, so now the fluid will start to flow. I haven't cycled yet. So I'm going to cycle through reverse, neutral, drive, neutral, reverse. Shifting a little hard because the fluid ain't in there yet. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, neutral, reverse, drive. Now I've heard that this ATF 3390 or 09, it's 09, 3309 mobile. It takes a little bit for the transmission to get used to it, so it might drive a little bit funky to begin with, and possibly because you're mixing it with whatever the original fluid was. I've got 77,870 miles. So I'm well past the first one I should have did. So I'm going to do it at 100,000, or if spring comes before 100,000, I'm going to do it then. I'm going to cycle it through the gears again. Now I'm going to get out and check the dipstick, which takes 2 hands, so signing off. Well, I've let it run for a while. And I don't know if you can see this, but the two little slots show where it's full. Okay. Now, before I laid it down, it was showing slightly under that first slot. With that being said, I put 3 quarts in, and you can see I got 3 quarts and just a little bit left over in there, a little in there, and then counting for spillage, maybe a quart of a quart. So I'm going to put a quart of a quart in here, and then drive it around and then check it and see where we're at and see if I need to fill any more. All right, over and out. Job's done, I believe. So I took it down to the 28, which it was up to where that line or the bend starts, the curve. So I'll take a quart. Maybe I'll take the whole case with me just in case something happens, but I don't think so. So over and out.